So many people asking me my thoughts on his latest upload, and let me take it as an opportunity to highlight some of the important contexts. Now, as you already know, the Christopher Broad, who is one of the most famous figures when it comes to Japan's content on YouTube, is known as the most likable person on this earth, and he usually got such a funny or positive vibe, like no one on this planet dislikes him, but quite different this time. And it's clear that he really didn't want to call her out or say anything negative about other creators or foreigners publicly. So you can see he looks really painful and depressed, to the point where his eyes becoming watery a bit. And I think it's crucial to be aware of the issues happening behind it and what we can do about it. The first one I want to highlight is the rise of anti-foreigner sentiment. As I've been talking to a lot of foreign residents recently, I can clearly see it's rising socially and politically, and many of them anxious. I'm sure he's also being affected as a foreign resident and genuinely concerned.
Rising anti-foreign sentiment in Japan, it makes me concerned and uncomfortable. And more I'm seeing comments, I'm a foreign guy exploiting Japan. And I've had that claim thrown at me more in the last 12 months than in the last 12 years combined.
With the expansion of social media, just a few bad tourists, especially influencers, ends up giving all foreigners a bad name, as many people in Japan don't really distinguish between foreign residents and tourists.
Social media has a lot to do with it. Spreading this message is a video of one nuisance foreigner, which is, by the way, just a tiny fraction. All the tourists I met are very respectful. It's very exaggerated, and they should see like what's actually happening on the ground. Like I would like to tell them, like just don't get all your information from social media.
Stagnated economy with the rising prices really stressing a lot of residents out, and many of them directing the anger towards foreigners.
When the economy is good, people are happier. People are having babies. Everything's typically better. People are misguided.
Now this is not fair, but unfortunately getting bigger in Japan. And given the big influence that she got on social media, his concerns quite reasonable. And I think important to be aware that he chose to criticize her content because many Japanese people might be uncomfortable with the way she shows us, and maybe he's feeling the need to represent the voices.
Oh my gosh, this is a rough area.
Filming the most vulnerable people in society and posting it online. Like I've had Japanese friends tell me this sort of stuff makes them feel uncomfortable.
And this is another point I want to bring up. It's a while ago, but attacking homeless people was a quite serious issue. Actually, it might still be even today. Some people go even that far, which I find really sad and unfortunate, because many homeless people already have been abused and shamed in a society a lot. Wakayama-san, who I recently interviewed, for example, his company clearly violated the labor law and really ruined his entire life. And he said that many other homeless people in Tokyo got into the situation in a similar way. I think it's totally okay though she interviews them if she genuinely cares about the homeless issue and willing to spread the awareness. But when you choose to share those people online, I think you really need to be aware of the hardship behind it and care about their privacy.
In fact, I've been speaking with a homeless shelter about doing a documentary, but it's a serious topic and these are people's lives and I need to tackle that carefully.
In a similar way, these people also might be stigmatized a lot, and you need to care about their privacy. So personally, I always try to have a pre-interview or get some talk in advance when the topic's quite sensitive and privacy really matters to them. And that's why I like his content a lot. And so do other Japanese people I know. They say he's really careful and sincere toward the people he shares on his content. When he talks about issues in Japan, we can clearly see his motivation is based on a genuine care about this country and people, rather than becoming famous or making money. While that might not be the case with some of her videos, which kind of treating us as an object, so it might be giving Japanese people a similar vibe as these people have done in Japan. And many of the Japanese people I talk to say those foreigners are really bad and want to call them out, but it can be really difficult for us to do that because of language barrier or the tendency to avoid confronting someone.
As a foreign resident, it's our responsibility to hold those people accountable, especially those who you could relate to. There are people who are going to be like, why is it my responsibility? And that's fair. And I think that's a very Western way of looking at things. But I think it's a lot harder for a Japanese person to see someone disrupting the harmony go out and say something. So use your Westernness for, direct speaker, okay with conflict.
Especially such a big influencer like him might be feeling a lot of responsibility for the actions of other big influencers, especially Western ones.
If you speak Japanese, they will bounce around, they will scream and shout, it will cure depression, as if the entire country is one big social experiment waiting to be exploited.
To be fair though, I want to point this out, because whether it's about graffiti in Tokyo or homeless people, sharing issues about Japan shouldn't be discouraged. As a Japanese person, I would appreciate any foreigners doing that if they care about this country and people and wants to improve. But the way she does might need to be adjusted. For example, in many other countries, this might be quite common and most people wouldn't mind. In Japan, however, many residents might not be used to it, as they care about their privacy and public awareness. That's why prank type of content also might not go well in Japan. And as you might notice, he clearly knows it and carefully chooses the location when he's filming on the street, depending on the area. But overall, I would say it doesn't fit in Japan, and that's why I don't do it. And definitely it's not appropriate, for example, in a public transportation like train or bus.
And I worry in an era of nuisance content creators coming to Japan doing things that are unspeakably bad.
All in all, I really appreciate he chose to criticize and care about the people in Japan. But at the same time, as a content creator who has been making a lot of mistakes, I want to emphasize this point as well. If there's anyone insulting or hating her personally, those people need to be stopped. Yes, her content might deserve to be criticized, and maybe she didn't handle his criticism well, but that doesn't mean her entire personality should be attacked or hated. We should keep in mind that there's a lot of things going on behind the camera we don't know yet, so we can't judge someone's entire personality just based on what we see online. And we all make mistakes. I used to get a lot of negative comments or hate, which really affected my mental health, so I worry that the same might happen to her right now. In my opinion, when a big YouTuber calling someone out, it's kind of responsibility as an audience. The person is not gonna become a target for hate too much, as if her entire personality should be denied or accused.
If you disagree with her, that you always comment in a respectful manner and don't share any hatred online.
So let's not spreading the hate or insult about her, and rather focus on what really matters and try to improve the situation together. Anyway, thank you for watching all the way to the end.